Transmoodiness, a podcast where we proudly say the quiet part out loud and wear our hearts on our sleeve. Sipping a tea while listening to this podcast is encouraged. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Oh my gosh, hello. It has been fucking weeks since we have had a conversation like this, and I just want to start off by saying, first and foremost, I did miss you, and I did not expect the hiatus to be this long. I mean, if you've been following along, you know that you've been seeing me in a different way, and I love this little break that we've taken because absence makes the heart grow fonder, and I do feel so much more fond of the Transmoodiness Sunday Morning Juice podcast right now in this moment. I'm starting to combine a lot of my interests. I'm really liking what life has to offer me right now, and it's causing me to feel different. It's causing me to show up in my life different. It's causing me to be less available. I mean, my closest friends already know that I really am not even that available. But I need to get some stuff off my chest. Some stuff that I know people are really gonna be able to relate to. First things first, the movie content. You guys have been seeing it. Me, I love a movie. I have loved going to the movies for years. I went to the movies on Thursday. I'm going to the movies today. Actually, I got invited to A24, like their home office in New York City on Tuesday, to see like a very, very, very early premiere of their newest documentary. So I guess I've been to the movies 3 times this week. That experience was still so amazing. I've been to the Sony building inside of their little private theater, which I really liked that too. But the way A24 hosts you, oh my gosh, you guys never stop. So let's get into what today is really, really about. And that is staying true to yourself as you elevate in life, as you come into your own, as you become that person that you put on your vision board. You know, I definitely am starting to see that come out in me in so many ways. It's just like last year, whenever I was doing like strictly TV and film content only and music, I was in such a bag and I loved it and it was good for me, but I had to take a break from that because that couldn't be the only thing going for me. And then I fell into vlogs, and I'm really loving vlogging. I'm kind of sucking at it right now because I've fallen back into TV and film in a different way. I'm like interviewing directors, which has been so freaking cool. I'm really just like, I don't know what I thought would come of this. I guess I just thought I'd be, you know, making YouTube videos at a bigger scale about TV and film, and in ways I am. And honestly, I'm still going to incorporate that. I'm really starting to understand what this brand, what this wheelhouse is that I'm building. And in the face of that, like, it does feel like a level of like internal elevation within yourself. I am saying no to things that usually I would have loved to do. My priorities are more straight, and like I'm having tougher conversations with the people in my life, and I think even in some ways I could be even more open about that. It's just, I had a conversation with this guy, this writer, director, musician, producer, Brandon. I can link it down here. You guys can go listen to that whole conversation. But there was a question that I asked him at the end where I was like, you know, as you elevate into yourself, like, you know, how do you deal with people like leaving your life? And he just straight up said, you know, if they're not aligned with you, you will lose them. And I knew it, but I just needed to hear it one more time, you know? I feel like we don't talk about it enough. And I feel like there's so many people that are like rising to new levels of success, especially as like influencers come into the mix, and they kind of, you know, have their own hierarchy of fame and celebrity. And then there are some of them that get pushed into the celebrity category. There's a lot that goes on internally when stuff like that happens. I want to break this down into a couple of points for you guys. I'm not really sure how many points, so I'm not going to give you a number, but let's start off with the first one. And that is always going to be feeling that internal shift and maybe even a heaviness on your chest when things just don't work out the way they want to. Maybe you had a habit of going out and partying with your friends every Friday and Saturday. You know, maybe Saturday rolls around and you're like, fuck, I don't want to do this, but we do this all the time and I feel obligated and I feel like they're going to think that I changed. Well, you are changing. And it doesn't feel good because you're not really supposed to be doing that. It doesn't feel good because you have other things to do. It doesn't feel good because you don't need to spend 24 hours on Sunday recouping and recharging just so you can do the things that you already know that you need to do. I am pretty isolated from people for the most part. I kind of keep my phone on D&D all the time. I really don't have that many conversations unless you're in my face. I have super terrible object permanence and I can really just be head into the computer all day. And I'm not even going to say I don't like anything about that life because it's become who I am. But I know on the road there, once I started feeling those feelings that I started talking about, my relationships with my friends started to change. And like, these are even friends that like I do still have today. I can tell you it does work out if they align, if it's meant to, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to take a step back from them, a step in a completely different direction as them. And it's weird because depending on how close you are, obviously they're going to be happy and excited for anything that you do. It just won't look like that at the beginning. Especially if you're just like, nah, I'm not really into that today. And you're just like doing something on your own when you usually would have hung out with them. There are a lot of feelings that come up. And I even want to say like jealousy is a weird feeling. I think that we have a really negative connotation of jealousy because I think that every single person feels it in one way or another. And I think you can make it bring you down or you can allow it to inspire you. And sometimes when you're like getting out of alignment with those friends, there could be a level of jealousy where they're not quite inspired yet because all they see is, oh, my friend is switching up on me and I can't keep doing the things that I used to do that I love to do. And maybe without them even knowing it, that's not even in alignment with them anymore, but all they can really do is just escape into it because they don't want to sit with their thoughts and sit with what they need to do with their lives. It took me a while to get to this place. Like, I want to say it took maybe up until like 6 more months before I legit moved away from my friend. In moving, like, yes, I say it's a lot about the Texas heat, but I totally needed to change my environment. Like, I loved my friends in Houston, but like, I did not need to be around them anymore. And I knew that. I was like, I need to be elsewhere and I need to be by myself and I need to be around new energy and I need to be, all that to say, like, they were not in alignment with me in the way that they were when we were in college, and that's okay. Today, I'm 27 years old, and maybe you're at that point in your life where you're getting better, you're getting a better hang of the thing with the friends, or even maybe starting to meet more friends that are aligned with where you're going in your life. And I will say, to that, there might be a chance that you just have to do friendships a little bit differently. Like, I know right now, I don't have there's no friend in my life where I'm texting them every single day. There's no person in my life where I'm FaceTiming them every single day. Like, it is like, if you've ever watched a video on stoicism, it is one of those things where you silence the noise. Like, you kill the noise completely. And I know for me right now, like, the biggest noise probably is TikTok, but at the same time, I'm making myself go live at least 2 times a week. I'm posting multiple times per day on TikTok for the most part, killing the noise. A lot of that noise does come from just your interactions with other people. And if you're not interacting that much with other people, it's coming from social media. It's coming from your connections with others in general. Social media, it you really gotta stay on top of the way you consume. I think I felt this maybe like a year ago, but it gets to the point where like, if I'm scrolling for like 15 minutes, I feel like a weight. It's like a legit weight on me. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And like, I haven't even put a TikTok out in 30 minutes. Hello? There's so many distractions. As you elevate, you get so sensitive. And I'm already a sensitive person, but you become so sensitive. It's even the small things that people say. Like, there are so many people that I hang around and they're just say things on accident like, oh my God, I'm stupid. Oh my God, I'm dumb. And I'm like, stop saying that to yourself. You're killing yourself. Sensitivity, that's one of them. You are really going to see those people who real life support you. They're going to come out, because if you're anything like me, you might be a little bit like, I don't know, difficult. I am a person, especially right now, I am finding myself to be really selfish, and it's a little bit too selfish for my comfort. Like, I do think that I could be a little bit better, but I am so in the zone. I just don't hold space for anyone else but myself, and literally taking my dog out for a walk 3 times a day. The people that support you the most, they are going to stay down for you. They're going to be understanding of you. They're going to give you that space, so when you come back and you have deep conversations with them, they're going to stay down for you. And when you have those deep conversations with them, they're going to hear you and they're going to understand you, because all they really want is to have a connection with you as a person. They like who you are. And it's gonna be something where you have to differentiate the people that genuinely enjoy you as a person and the people that kind of just see like, oh, maybe you're going somewhere in this life and maybe I should just hang on for the ride. That's where being alone really matters, because those things come up. Little things that people say that was maybe a little sneak diss or really something that didn't sit well with you, those things come up when you're by yourself. And those people who are good for you, they come up too when you're by yourself. And that makes you feel like you are eating very healthy comfort food. This is the last thing that I'm going to leave you with. I feel like this can definitely be more than one part, but I don't want to ramble too much. Lastly, eliminating the noise around perception. This can come from your friends. This can come from your frenemies. This can come from your family. This can come from people that you haven't spoken to in 10 years. This can come from people on LinkedIn, maybe because I've been posting a lot more on LinkedIn and I have been having to face being seen in a different way in that way, because, you know, I'm building a brand, I'm building a thing, I'm trying to promote it. And there's things that I say here and on Substack and on YouTube and on the podcast that just will never come out on LinkedIn. I'm finding that divide right now. Sometimes I feel even really weird about reading comments, and this comes from mostly on TikTok. I talk about a lot more controversial things, and I do get people that deadass want to fight me. Sometimes it makes me feel like I can't be open, but then I'm like, you know what? No, these conversations need to be had. And I think that like in finding myself, I'm realizing there are so many conversations that need to be had. I'm not getting on with people the same way now that like I'm coming into myself, because I don't fuck with the small talk. What are we talking small about? I don't even talk to people to begin with. So if we're going to have a conversation, we're going to get in it. As I'm speaking to the podcast, I'm realizing how extreme I am, but you know what? I'm not going to change, because I am who I am, and this is how I remain authentic, and this is how I find my community. And honestly, that's what it's all about. As you come into your own and you stay authentic to yourself, keep that motherfucking foot on the gas. You know what feels good to you. If you have taken the time to isolate, if you've taken the time to understand what you need, if you've set intentions with your life and you've made a plan and you know where you're headed, you keep that foot on the gas. You keep the noise out. You keep the conversations with people who don't even inspire you to a minimum. You keep the social media to a minimum. You go on walks and you listen to nothing. Honestly, the podcasts, you need to cut those out. And I know that this is a podcast too, and I don't know, maybe after this you need to turn it off. In our music, in our podcasts, in our social media video clips, there's so much good there, but there is also so much noise there. So it's just it's just a continuing wheel of mastering the noise that technology is bringing on to us, especially with AI. Please, going to chat GPT as your therapist or fucking Claude, please stop it. Journaling and having conversations with AI, please fucking stop it. Not only are you killing the environment, you're killing your brain. There will legit be no such thing as original thought after that. Like, that is so unnecessary. Please. Human connection, even though I'm telling you to limit it sometimes, it is still vital. So just know that. Do not replace human connection with chat fucking GPT Claude AI. Please. Or any of the AIs. Please. You guys, I'm so excited to see you at the top. Love you so much. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Sunday Morning Juice Trans Moodiness podcast. I want to hear your experiences and I want to hear what you have to say. So make sure to subscribe on Substack and wherever you get your podcasts. Join the community, join the chat room, and leave your comments. There is so much to unpack in this life. See you next Tuesday.